Obviously, Microsoft decided to change a little bit of their direction last generation when they had the Xbox One, which didn't really focus on power. They really corrected that coming out with the Xbox One S and then certainly the Xbox One X. I feel like if they had come out with the Xbox One S originally and they hadn't had that terrible, Connect situation and the DRM and things like that, they would have had a much better chance against PlayStation, because it didn't really matter, in my opinion, that PlayStation was slightly more powerful. What really mattered was that PlayStation was more powerful and cheaper. And I think that was really a negative in a lot of people's eyes. But obviously the Xbox One X, that's the console, for me anyway, that'll always go down as maybe the most or the best but yet most unappreciated console. It really was a fantastic console. The main problem is Microsoft didn't have any games ready for it its entire life cycle. I mean, if you think about it, they really relied on patching the older games and making sure that third parties patched the older games, and they look great. And obviously having multiplats run the way that they did on it was awesome. You can even look back to something like Red Dead Redemption 2, and I thought they did a fantastic job with that. They really killed it, and I thought, honestly, hey, Microsoft is really doing a good job with this. And then to be fair, right? So they have officially stopped making games that are new, that are going to be supported on, like, say, the Xbox One X, and we're in 2023, and that thing came out in 2017. So to be fair, the stuff that they had been coming out with, they got a good 5-6 year lifespan of games that supported it. Again, though, I guess, it's hard to really hate. Like, I upgraded day one to the Xbox Series X, so I'm happy with that. But if you had an Xbox One X and you didn't upgrade right away, I can see why. Like Forza Horizon 5 is great, but you could play it on the One X and it played great there. Halo Infinite was fun, and you could play it great on the Xbox One X. Obviously, there's different situations and things for everybody, but now you have like Digital Foundry and some of these other places talking about what's going on in the industry and talking about the Xbox. And there's a lot of people down on this particular thing, and I don't necessarily understand it, because here's the thing. Phil Spencer the other day said that Microsoft isn't interested right now in doing a mid-gen upgrade for the Series X. To me, I think that's great. I think a lot of people, though, saw like Starfield and they're like, oh, it's 30 frames, you better get a mid-gen refresh out there. The thing about that is people are going to push the visual fidelity up to the next level, and so the frame rate thing might not be solved as easily as people think, and this could be a reason why people end up going more and more towards PC. But this is the thing that's getting kind of outraged right now, is that the Xbox Series X is basically a mid-gen console already, according to Microsoft's old comments. Again, so Microsoft's apparent decision to avoid making a new mid-gen refresh console to sit alongside the Xbox Series X and S appears to have been decided a long time ago, at least according to a new Digital Foundry video. In the new Digital Foundry Direct Weekly, it's revealed that Microsoft told the outlet back in 2020 that it considered the Xbox Series X a mid-gen refresh machine already, while the Series S was basically the standard console. This is what they said. Microsoft told us back when we saw the Series X for the first time that the Series X is their mid-gen refresh. They just decided to do it ahead of time, I guess you could say. The Series S is what they consider like their standard machine, and then the Series S is like, that's getting ahead of the curve there, and that's what you get from the mid-gen console. Now, the other week, Xbox boss Phil Spencer mentioned that he felt Microsoft was pretty set on the hardware that they have. When asked whether an Xbox Series X upgrade had been considered, admitting that he didn't feel an imperative to make one right now. Clearly, there's still a lot of life left in the Xbox Series X and S, so it sounds like we might be waiting quite a long time until we get another one, and that's absolutely fine for a lot of people. To be honest with you, like, I get that the techies, like even myself included, we love the hardware, the latest and greatest, but to be honest with you, we never knew how many people bought the new platforms, right? Like how many people went out and bought the new consoles. We never got sales numbers on the One X. We never got sales number on the PS4 Pro. We do know that the majority of people that bought an Xbox One bought an Xbox One S. And we know the majority of people that bought a PS4 bought a PS4 or PS4 Slim. So again, I get it. Maybe they want to try and keep some people from going to PC, but I don't think Microsoft cares as much about that, since they run the operating system on PC and they also have the store and their games are on PC, so it doesn't really matter to them, in my opinion. And I do think that, just keeping the Xbox Series X out there, these things are just becoming more readily available, so I think it's a smart move for them. There was an update initially missed from the video, was a clarifying comment from Digital Foundry's Richard Ledbetter, who had the following to say about the Series X and S. He said, and I quote, "To clarify, the S and X thing, obviously last generation we had an Xbox One S and an Xbox One X console, and I think that just transplanted that across the current generation. So the Series S is the equivalent of the One S, and the Series X is the equivalent of the One X. It's just that you're getting both of these at the same time." And this is funny because I said this actually when they were launching it, because people go, "Well, do you think they'll do a mid-gen?" And I was like, I don't see the need to. You would be supporting 3 consoles at that point. And to be honest with you, like how I feel with Sony stuff as well, is that most of a lot of their stuff has been cross-gen, right? Their biggest games, the Horizon Forbidden West, the God of War Ragnaroks, the Gran Turismos, that kind of stuff, they've all been cross-gen. And to that end, you didn't even technically need a PS5 for that. And now if they do come out with, say, a mid-gen refresh next year, and then they go, okay, well, we don't really have much that's current gen only, and when we do, you're going to need this other new console to be able to play it at the best rate that you can. So I do think that is a little bit silly. And I think that I actually like that Microsoft is kind of doing things a little bit different. Now, that's not to say that Microsoft couldn't come out after Sony. Maybe they want to get a jump on Sony again. Like Sony launched the PS4 Pro before Microsoft, a full year before Microsoft launched the One X. So, again, we could be seeing a situation where Microsoft lets them kind of play their hand, and I think that would be smart, and then come out with one that's even more powerful. Because if you want to do it, you have to go back to Phil Spencer's comments in the past, is if you want to do it, you don't want to do a half step, you want to go the full step. And I think that's probably what they're going to do if they were to come out with one. But it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Just come out with a brand new console at year 6 or whatever. I think that makes way more sense than coming out with a mid-gen refresh and then every 3 years coming out with new hardware that you're never really taking advantage of, right? Like I said, it was rare to see anything taken advantage of with the One X. And so when I look at this and I look at things and I go, well, Microsoft has done a good job of supporting things for the Series X, but will they continue to do that in the future? And that's what I want most of all, right? Like, they're not even getting full use out of this thing yet. So I hope that we see, some full use out of it before too long, and I'm excited to see where that goes. But I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Microsoft said they don't want to be behind on power or whatever, but obviously if Sony comes out with a mid-gen refresh, they would be behind slightly. For how long, I don't know. But does it seem pointless to you to do a mid-gen at this point? Let me know in the comments below. I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews. Rack 'em up.